workshop, which will focus on a very important aspect of agriculture, the future of operational groups, the challenges that they are facing, opportunities ahead, and how we can better support them. My name is Iacovos Deleoglanis. I'm co-founder of consultancy company Focus STC based in Thessaloniki, and we are part of one of the co-organizers of today, the BBioNets project. The rationale behind it, why we came up with this idea. Talking with colleagues from other networks, other thematic networks, we believe that going beyond our thematic focus, going beyond the innovative solutions that are being developed and tested within operational groups, cross-fertilization of experiences in regard to how to form and how to support an operational group and how to implement it are vital. So we joined forces, 5 thematic networks in a different stage of implementation. You will see on the bottom of the screen, 2 projects will end in the end of this year, 2 more than next year, and 1 just started. So it will carry on, let's say, the legacy, the experiences. So we are here today to share how the 5 thematic networks designed their approach to attract, support, and engage operational groups and promote their work. What are our experience from our current engagement, and what we developed or will be developed for the operational groups to use. And of course, talking about operational groups, you cannot avoid about policymakers and about regional authorities. The structure of the day. We thought that it's very important to hear from all 3 actors involved in this exercise. The supporting environment, meaning the thematic network, who are designed to develop, to create numerous activities and material to support operational groups' activities. To hear from the practitioners, real-life examples, their practical experience, whatever we as a thematic network say, the people in the field are implementing the solution. So we need to hear from them. And of course, have the opinion of the what we call enabling environment, the policymakers, those who create a favorable environment or try to create a favorable environment for operational groups. So this is how we will go today. And without further delay, I would like to ask, we'll proceed with the first slot. So I would like to ask my colleague, Carmen, to share her screen and present the BBioNets perspective.
Thank you, Iacovos. I will share my screen now. Let me see. Can you let me know if you are seeing my presentation full screen now?
Yes, we do.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much, Iacovos. So as Iacovos has said, we are entering the part of the webinar where we're going to talk about how we have engaged with operational groups. No, we're going to say OGs instead of operational groups because it's faster, right? So I wanted to give a brief insight of how the project BBioNet has started from the beginning of the preparation of the proposal to engage with operational groups, with OEs, right? This thematic network of type of projects, BBioNets, we wanted it to be focusing on a specific thematic, right? On a specific topic. We wanted to look into bio-based technologies, which is technologies or practices that use non-food feedstock circularity principles or both to deliver diverse products. We wanted to focus on these types of operational groups because we went through the EIP-AGRI website and we identified this as an opportunity of knowledge transfer to the wider audience. Why we want to target a wider audience? Because we want to target agriculture and forestry stakeholders, primarily farmers and foresters themselves, right? So we needed to transfer the knowledge that EIP-AGRI projects have already identified within the thematic of bio-based technologies and solutions. But not only that knowledge, because that knowledge is not only within the EIP-AGRI spectrum. We went beyond the EIP-AGRI operational groups to try to gather all this information to bring to farmers and foresters, and hopefully with this knowledge they can be helped to boost their economic growth and environmental sustainability. Now, next slide. These are the specifics from the project. We are a 3-year project. We are on the half of our period at the moment, and we are 9 entities from 6 European countries. We are developing our study within Ireland, Spain, Greece, Italy, Poland, and Czech Republic. Now, specifically on how we design and how are we implementing the project to interact with operational groups, I've tried to summarize in 4 bullet points that I will go over in the next slide. So the first part that we did during the preparation of the work and in the implementation of the work, we said, okay, we don't want to only target specific operational groups in specific countries. We are going to collect the knowledge from the whole Europe, the knowledge from operational groups, and not only operational groups, beyond operational groups, other European projects, other industry examples that will fit within the category of bio-based technologies. And we will collect all this information. So specifically within this wider range, targeting this specific thematic, we've collected 113 bio-based technologies, not only from operational groups, which 80 of these 113 bio-based technologies comes from operational groups, but we also identified other type of projects that are interesting for the studies that we are developing in the project. So how did we engage with operational group during this step? We did do a prior desk study for this phase, but we did always have interviews with operational groups to collect specific information about the bio-based technologies. So we not only targeted the operational group itself, we fractured it in different bio-based technologies, because one operational group or one type of project will have different types of bio-based technologies often. So we wanted to break this through into species that will be understandable by everybody and could be easily transferable to farmers and foresters. Now, another thing that we are doing in order to engage with operational group is that we assess what we want to transfer specifically to the regions of the study. We not only collect a wide pool of knowledge, we match the knowledge that match the needs of the specific regions. So in the left-hand side of the screen, you can scan this QR code, so you can go be directed specifically to the list of the inventory of these 113 bio-based technologies identified. But I know my colleague Patricia later on will talk about this. So basically, we matched the information we found to the needs of the regions here, and the needs were asked to what we have called by forester and agriculture networks, that we'll talk a little bit more over later on. These forestry and agriculture networks have operational groups within them and have farmers and foresters within them, amongst other type of stakeholders. So not only we match this to the operational group of people and a pool of people, we match them to their needs and the farmers and foresters' needs. This has led us to create specific assessments and specific outputs from the project that you can scan and go to be directed to the QR code that is on the right-hand side of the screen. We have developed a specific assessment, like a roadmap a roadmap for the implementation of these bio-based technologies within each specific region, matching their needs and biomass availabilities. We are also breaking down and translating in a way all this information so they will be understandable in educational materials. And we are doing a lot of knowledge transfer activities in order to reach to farmers and foresters, but no more on this, because I know my colleague will talk more about this later on. So we not only work at regional level, right? We work at multi-regional level, cross-regionally, as we like to call it, no? This operational group engagement was from this forest and agriculture networks, as I mentioned before, but we are not localized. We want this knowledge and this needs to be transferable. So this event today is one of these cross-regional activities where we are not only doing this, so keep posted for more activities like this one and on specific topics as well. I wanted to just give you a snapshot of the structure of the forest agriculture networks built within the project. I just wanted to make you understand that the type of diversity of people from forest and agriculture sectors that we have within these networks, and that half of these networks are actual farmers and foresters, and these networks are growing. So there's room for all of you to join us and contribute to the network and listen what we are doing within the network. So at the moment we have almost 100 organizations involved within the project, only half of these being primary producers and their advisors. So there's this flow that I've mentioned, from region to cross region, as I said before, to inform, to exchange knowledge, but ultimately we also want to make them aware of the potential of the creation of new operational groups, also building in the knowledge that has already been developed, right? So there's this multi-level engagement. And now, finally, and this is my last slide, and apologies if I talk too long, I wanted to also say a few words about the transversal outlook that we have within the project, because we are not only focusing on farmers and foresters, we have an internal policy that looks for everyone. No, we call this the BBioNets for everyone concept. We want to be as inclusive as possible, to include as a wide range of type of stakeholders as possible, as you saw in the previous slide about the forest and agriculture networks. We also want to have in mind the gender inclusivity, so all type of genders are equally represented. And also, and this is a problem within the agriculture and forestry sectors, the youth inclusivity. We also are mindful of youth, and we do active engagement with associations and research institutes that actively engage with youth. And finally, but lastly, but not less important, we also focus on a transverse way on unemployed and economically disadvantaged individuals, and to try to be as inclusive as possible in the same level as with the others one, taking active actions and involving them within our networks and doing activities engagement with them, regardless of their involvement in operational groups or not. So we would try to be as wide as possible, as long as they are interested in bio-based technologies and forest and agriculture. So I hope I haven't talked too long. I know you already know about the project. I know that you will hear more about this, but I just wanted to give this a snapshot of our social media, where we actively post here, and I will highly encourage you to follow us. So thank you so much, Jacobus and everybody, for inviting us to this nice event, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Carmen, and thank you for keeping the time. Now, Francesca Gianetti from the Forest for EU project. Hi.
Hi, hello, everybody, and I'm very happy to participate to such event as co-organized event also of our project. Let me know if you see my presentation.
Yes, we do.
Okay, I am Francesca Giannetti. I work as a researcher at the University of Florence, and I am also the coordinator of Forest for EU project that is a thematic network working with OG, mostly related in forestry and agroforestry. Here I represent a partnership of a group of beneficiaries of this project of the different countries. We are present in 9 different countries at EU level. After we will see where. And I will tell you how we engage the OG in our project. So firstly, Forest for EU is an European innovation partnership network promoting operational groups in dedicated forestry and agroforestry sector. So our target was forestry and agroforestry sector. And if we see from the report of the CAP network of 2023, we see that the forestry operational group is a really small number of the OG that in this during this period were financed around Europe through the rural development plan in the different regions. So it's a very specific and small group of the total OGs. So from this report, just 141 OGs in forestry were financed related to the sector where we would like to work. So for us was really important to find these OGs, and we decide to go through direct interaction with them. So when we start the project, the CAP network website was moving from the EIP-AGRI portal to the CAP network website, so was not able for us also to look to that to find the contact of the coordinator. So we decide to work at the national level through direct contact to OGs through national network. And so this was somehow difficult at the beginning, but then give us the opportunity to talk directly with the coordinator of partner of OG. So was really important to engage them in all the activities of the project, not just to collect from them the information, but also to create a network. So our approach was totally dedicated to direct contact and interview to the operational group partner or coordinator. So when we have a look on the OGs where we would like to work with, we see that just the 5% of the total OGs were represented by forest sector. But if we see, for example, farming, forestry, competitiveness, we arrived 23%, but this is on this 23%, just a very small part was dedicated really to forestry and agroforestry sector. So first of all, we set up the way how we would like to work with the stakeholder, with the OGs, with the policymaker and so on. And so we decide not to work as, for example, BBioNet at regional level, but we decide to work on thematic level. Because from past seminar also that were done at European level in the past, 5 innovation topics were identified really important for the forestry sector. So we set up 5 different innovation topics that work in the different countries. So each topic is active in different countries. Here you will see the country where the innovation topic are going. So Italy, Spain, Portugal, France, Slovenia, Latvia, Germany, Finland, and Croatia. Also, if we have now stakeholders also that coming also from other regions. So the thematic hub we would like to work was where wood mobilization, that is ET Hub 1 for us, forest adaptation to climate change, agroforestry, non-wood forest product, and improving sustainable forest management. So we decide also the structure of this ET Hub. So in the project, we have an ET Hub leader that work for managing the hub, the thematic hub. But then at national level, we have a national single point of contact that is represented by one of the partners of the project that is really that work really in the topic of the hub. And then we have also the other stakeholders, so OG representatives, stakeholders that would like to know more about OG, and policymakers that can subscribe and enter to be part of this network. As you can see, also the distribution of stakeholders or people that are part of these HIT hubs is really balanced. So we have a balance also if sustainable forest management and ecosystem services is a little bit more higher. A person could decide to be part of more than one HIT hub. So if they want to learn more about the different topics, they can subscribe to be part of the different things. Then we have also a transversal hub that work to create connection between the hub and also to understand if some innovation that we collect from the OGs could be fixed in more than one hub or have transversal activities. So at the end, we were able through direct contact, so with interview, to connect 86 different operational groups. Mostly of them are from South Europe. It's mean Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal, where this measure was really applied for forestry sector, while in other countries, and we are trying to stimulate through the project also that the measure was not open to the forestry sector. So this is something that was exit also thanks to our project. We were not able to find, for example, OGs that were financed also in very forested countries such as Romania, but we found just one, for example, in Germany. Now they are changing, so in the new rural development plan, more OGs will come also from that. So from direct interview, the OGs were classifying the different hub, but when we start to collect the innovation that they develop, we found that one of OGs develop innovation also for different HIT hubs. So it's mean that mostly of the OGs have innovation that fix with more than one HIT hub. So at the end, we collect 173 different innovation that were quite similar around the HIT hub. So it's mean from 33 for the agroforestry sector to 37 for the wood mobilization. And also we define this innovation, and we also classify it, also thanks to the interaction with the OG member and partner, the type of innovation. So if they were technological, product, process, and service, or organizational or social. Then, so these are the innovation that we are collecting through the project, but then this innovation also to engage other stakeholders and to give the overview of the innovation that were developed from OGs. We create a network to analyze this innovation. So we organize 9 different workshops at the national level, where the stakeholder, OG stakeholder, but also non-OG stakeholder, so the people that would like to know more about OGs, select the innovation that they thought could be fixed for the purposes of their country. So it means that from the start of the innovation collected, then the people choose what are the innovation that I would like to know more in my country on that. Was a really impressive work of translation of this innovation through national languages, because this is a very high barrier. So also in the collaboration between OGs of different countries. And then the stakeholder and the OG representatives say us also where they would like to read more about that. So the national channel where they would like to see a video or a technical report, then Giacomo will say more about that. But to engage the stakeholder and to engage the OG, we also analyze what are the reasons behind OG, why you would like to to create an operational groups that work at regional level. So the main result was that the most important, that they would like to cooperate more with other stakeholders, but also with the research institute to try to solve a very specific need of at regional level. But then with the project, we saw that these regional level problems are similar to the one that we could find also in other regions of Europe. So now we are in the phase of study visit. So the OG's representatives will go to learn more on that, and they really like to be cooperatives, to be interviewed, and to be part of our project, and to tell more about the innovation that they develop. So I think that the collaboration with people is the really most important part to engage the OGs in our project. They would like to know more also the result. They are really engaged also because we interview directly them and give them the opportunity to participate in mostly of the activities, not just as collector of the innovation, but also evaluator of the other innovation, and also in the study visit, in the forest innovation workshop. So they are really engaged because they like a lot this cooperational level among different regions. But then it's important also to engage the OG to understand the actors that facilitate the innovation in OGs, in order also to give the opportunity to learn for other people the main actors that are important when you set up a new OGs. So we found that forest owner and forest manager were the most important actor, followed by research institutions. So it's mean that the people that really work in the forest sector, and farmer of course, are the main actors. So for engage them, it's really important to speak their national language, because mostly of them cannot speak English. So the way that we use to interview them with the direct interview in national language, and then also to translate the information of innovation, their own language, the capacity building material, give us the opportunity to be in line with their expectations. So not stress them with English or something really complicated. So
Francesca,
thank you.
You were faster than me, sorry. Thank you very much. You were exactly on time. Now, Barbara, the third project, Soil for Exchange, Soil Exchange.
Yes, so I'm sharing my screen. Do you see my screen now?
It's coming, yes, we do.
Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm Barbara Papai from Indomine, a Hungarian consultancy in European projects, a digital innovation hub, and the coordinator of Soil Exchange project. So to shortly summarize the project itself, we started at the beginning of last year, so 2024 January, and we are finishing at the end of next year. So we are more or less at the halftime. At the moment, we have 13 partners from 9 countries, and the goal is clear. We want to collect, harmonize, and share the ready-to-use sustainable soil management practices. The idea is to disseminate the information that we collect in national languages to an EU-wide network, so to translate them in an easy-to-understand way, and include into this progress and this collaboration farmers, advisors, and policymakers. To see a bit the objectives themselves. So as we see and we know, there are already existing networks in Europe that is collecting this information, and there are new ones at the moment, but the point is that the information is a bit scattered, the language is a big barrier, as Francesca already mentioned, and we would like to address the peer-to-peer learning between farmers, as already studies prove that for farmers, the most trustable sources are to learn from each other between them. So by focusing on these practices, we are collecting them directly from the operational groups, and we are trying to see how they are fitting into even on the policy side. So what are the experiences of the operational groups? How was their progress? Not only operational groups, but individual farmers as well. What are their experiences, their barriers on a national policy level that later on we can build to on a higher level frameworks. As I said, we would like to disseminate this in a clear way, as many languages as possible, so it can reach everyone who is interested. And to jump on the fact what is exactly our approach to reach the operational groups. So as I said, we are in 9 countries. We are in 9 European countries, and each country we established so-called national nodes. And the task of these national nodes is to engage with OGs, farmers, general practitioners, besides the policymakers as well. They are acting as some kind of local anchors, let's say. This way we are making sure that the integration is coming from the bottom. So the focus is really this bottom-up approach. This way we are building them to this European network, let's say. And so what are these national nodes are doing? That first of all, we mapped the operational groups on a national level. We mapped them and we started to engage with them through workshops, through webinars, through meetings. And now at this phase of the project, we are collecting the data from them about their practices, about their needs, about their national needs. And as a next step, we are going to disseminate this information and also try to organize the cross visits so they can communicate with each other directly, and they can go in this process in this peer-to-peer level. So about the knowledge sharing approach, we are going to discuss later, so I don't want to jump into that. But of course, at the end, the point will be to keep up this long-term networking through this soil exchange net, let's say, and to provide the sustainability of the communication between these farmers and practitioners. At the moment, besides the 9 member countries of the consortium, we extended the network for 6 external countries. We have data from them, of course, in a smaller amount, but this is increasing. We are having 68 onboarded operational groups and more than 100 direct partners, which includes the policymakers in each country, the AQUAGRI bodies. So we are trying to establish a strong connection between all of them. And so what we have from the operational groups and what we are providing, because of course, as Carmen and Francesca already mentioned, and we all know that it's not easy to establish connection, like a strong connection, and provide value for them. So we were very lucky because, as I said, we have these 86 ready-to-use practices that we collected with a very wide amount of data about each of them. We have more than 100 feedbacks from operational group members about sustainable soil management awareness and their experience on this field. And we have more than 100 feedback about their experience as a member of operational groups, which also is going to be part of one of the presentation later on. And so in exchange, we aim to bring their visibility on a wide European level. We want to provide them the peer-to-peer learning possibility between farmers across Europe, so jumping the barriers of the language. And we would like to provide the access for the tailored practices and ready-to-use innovations that they can directly use on their field. So shortly, this is about soil exchange and or possibility or trying to engage with the operational groups.
Thank you very much, Barbara. And now the fourth co-organizing body. Anna, where are you? Cannot see. I see you now.
I'm here. I'm trying to find the presentation. Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yes. Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Anna from Beta Technological Center and the coordinator of the NUTRI-KNOW project. And well, today I will explain this OG engagement strategy of NUTRI-KNOW. But before I start, very briefly, I would like to say that I'm very happy to be here today because of the importance that I think this workshop and specifically this session can have, as being able to gather 5 thematic networks based on operational groups and to share our experiences is something for me very, very valuable. Well, and this is how we at NUTRI-KNOW see the knowledge flow. We are very clear that our main objective is to increase the impact of knowledge, in this case, the knowledge in nutrient management, in our case. And in order to do this, we have to be clear about this knowledge flow, which for us starts with the knowledge of the operational groups, the farmers, the policymakers, the scientific community. Then this knowledge from the operational groups is collected and amplified in the thematic networks, such like us, and then can be stored openly in repositories such as the EU Farm Book, thus become part of this ecosystem of the UCAP network knowledge. Specifically, the NUTRI-KNOW involves the knowledge of different OGs in the TEFOM nutrient management. These OGs are projects that include different innovations, technologies, or recommendations that provide solution to the different steps of the nutrient management value chain, from livestock farming to application of these nutrients. And this is where the first step of our engagement strategy starts. We have at least one consortium partner from NUTRI-KNOW associated with each OG. So we are a multi-actor consortium, and this means that in some operational groups, our reference person can be someone from the public administration, a researcher, someone from a private company, or even a farmer. But in any case, the important thing is that this person has contact with all the actors involved in the operational group implementation, and more importantly, has the confidence in these people, and in other words, have the trust of these people, the people who implement the innovation of the operational group. And for us, this is very important because it allows NUTRI-KNOW to have quality information, realistic information, and continuous information from all the operational groups involved. So at NUTRI-KNOW, we have a well-defined methodology to increase the impact of knowledge. It starts with the collection of this knowledge, goes through an analysis of this knowledge. Innovations are analyzed not only from a technical point of view, but also from an economic, environmental, social, and legislative point of view. This means that although an innovation may be technically very good, it may not be economically viable. And in the end, this is equally or even more important than the first thing in order to implement such technology. Then, with this analysis done, we create practice-oriented material. They can be practice abstracts, infographics, videos, among others. And then we organize this knowledge transfer or knowledge exchanging activities that they include field visits, trainings in person, dissemination days, field demonstrations. But the most important thing about these exchanges sessions is that the knowledge is not transmitted in a unidirectional way, but in a bidirectional way. So during these sessions, we collect more information from the farmers who implement some of the innovations or similar ones. We ask for their feedback to evaluate the material, to know if they can really be useful or not, and we take into account their perspective to include it in this, let's say, knowledge well or knowledge flow. But we are going to talk about today is how we can involve these OGs in all these steps of our methodology, right? Well, for this, we have our engagement plan that has been designed specifically for this, to involve the operational groups and more specifically, to involve the practitioners in all the steps of our methodology. It is not a matter of contacting them, but of involving them in the process, of making them part of it. It's not something that is easy, as all of you said, no, my previous colleague said, but it's very productive at the end. So, for example, in the collection step, we collected directly from the practitioners and other stakeholders the information. No, all this information were collected directly from the stakeholders implementing the OG's innovations, implementing the OG results. And these people, the people implementing the OG innovations, also assessed these innovations in terms of transferability, replicability, financial viability. So this is very important because we have this first-hand, let's say, information, and at the end, who will trust a farmer more than a farmer? So also we perform a consultation process through questionnaires and interviews, including the farmers also, and we also ask them the preferred communication channels and the perceived relevance of these innovations and technologies. Apart from that, we also identify the more pressing needs and challenges of these farmers that are capable of implementing these OG's innovations. And also, they will give feedback on the practice-oriented material that we are creating, in order to be able to update it and to adapt it to their needs. We design a strategy for them, but also they can give us feedback and we are able to improve it for them. And finally, in this final step of exchanging activities, well, we have different in-service short trainings, study visits, train the trainers, different webinars, interviews, consultations. And as I said before, all these activities have been adapted to be this knowledge exchange instead of one-way training or one-way transferred knowledge. Well, and to give you an idea, I have put some images of how we evaluate the operational groups innovations, either in person or during online interviews with important people in this ecosystem. And here are also some examples of some knowledge exchange activities, like online trainings, different field demonstration, also study visits. And to finish, and basically what we try in NUTRI-KNOW is that the farmer, or the OGs in this case, starts and ends up being the center of the whole process. For example, that it is the farmers themselves who explain the innovation of the OGs to other farmers, because I said before, who is a farmer going to trust more than another farmer? No one. So in other words, to increase the knowledge of these OGs innovations is not only to compile, analyze, and share this knowledge, but also get to know the people who will implement it, know firsthand their needs, their day-to-day problems, and build a relationship based on active listening and trust. And that's all. Thank you for...
Thank you, Anna, very much for this detailed explanation of your project. Your NUTRI-KNOW, it's not your alone. But as a general comment, I think it's clear that for projects, for not exactly similar approaches, there were obviously common elements, but different consortia, different mentality, following different approach. In my opinion, all these approaches are working in practice. So it's something to get of all of us for our next initiatives. So, okay, we heard about the projects. They were designed, they were implemented by 10 or more partners. So let's hear now the opinion of the one side of the coin, the practitioners. Pedro Silveira, can you please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, can you give me, please?
You have access. Just go to share on the bottom of your screen. There's a square with an arrow. Then choose entire screen and then click on the bottom, on the box, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Well, you need to click on present now on your bottom of your screen. A pop-up window will open. On the right, there is the entire screen.
Sorry, because I'm not used to
Pedro, you need to click the box with the arrow to...
Yes, of course.
Would you like me to upload and share your presentation so you can go through it?
Because I have to choose, but
choose when you open, of course, the presentation. Then you choose entire screen.
I can do that.
And then click on the box. Let me show you. You normally see this. You click here.
No.
And then
I don't see that.
Okay. You want me to share your presentation so that you can just go through it?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So this OG is called Fertipinian, and is mainly I don't know. I can't go. Can you choose?
Go back. Okay, to the next one. Okay.
Yes, and is mainly to find some is a OG that was the main reason. It was we have a competence center on Pinus pinnea, and that competence center that they made innovation agenda, and nutrition of Pinus pinnea was one of the main issues on that innovation agenda. So some entities from that competence center, mainly ENIAV, that is the main innovation authority in Portugal, and the associations, the producer associations, get together, and producers themselves get together, and they are the partners from this OG. And the objectives of this OG, can you please change?
Yeah, sorry.
The specific objectives is to establish the fertilizer recommendation for new stands, and for establish stands of Pinus pinnea, and establish reference values for needle analysis also. And validate irrigation opportunities, and study all that opportunities of irrigation, and also to study some phenological and ecophysiological indicators to evaluate what is the stresses in the stands. Mainly these are some basics objectives, but anyway, as Pinus pinnea is a very typical tree from the Mediterranean forest, nobody knows what is these basics recommendations for fertilizing, and what are the needs from the Pinus pinnea tree. So that was the main goal. Can you please change? We got the main results, and we got the recommendations for new stands and young stands and the adult stands. That was really important. Can you please change? Can you please change? Yes, and that gave us the chance to make some publications, and these publications were the main vehicle to get the knowledge from the laboratory to the farmers, to the producers. It's very important to decode what is the knowledge from the scientists to simple language that the producers will understand. And so we made 4 leaflets to explain how to collect the samples in needles, and what is the nutrition needs for all the pine trees and all that things. And so we didn't have the time to study the irrigation. That was a problem, because we had a lot of problems in this OG due to the COVID. So this OG was mainly in 2020, 2021. So we had a lot of problems with COVID, and we got a big delay with that. And was one of the problems we have more with this OG. So it's a short project, and with COVID got shortened, even shortened. So it's more or less the problem what is we got. So it's mainly this. Can you please change? So thank you very much for your attention, and it's mainly this the presentation I had to show you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. Now, Elena Maestri.
Yes, thank you. I will try to share the screen. I'm using a Mac, so it will be even harder. Let's see what happens. Nothing is happening. Say the presentation is beginning to show.
Not yet.
Not yet. No, you don't see it.
No.
Because now even the button is no more active. So I can stop sharing. Okay. Stop sharing. But nothing is happening again.
If you want, send it
I sent it to you while the colleague was speaking.
Okay, then let me see.
Check if you received it, because now even if I stopped the sharing, the button is still not active.
Yes, I got it. So I will share it from my side.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope I sent you the correct one.
Me too. Okay, share, time screen.
In the meantime, I can tell you that differently from the colleague, I did not stress much the results of the project, also because you asked me to put together, let's say, 3 different projects that were going on in parallel in the same period, of course, the COVID period. So my discussion will be more about what they had in common and what were our main observations. I am in the University of Parma, but I am representing the consortium CINSA, which stands for a Consortium for Environmental Sciences, which is basically a research organization putting together different universities. And we are based in different parts in Italy, but these projects were in the region Emilia-Romagna. I don't know if you are familiar, we are in the north of Italy. This is one of the more active regions concerning let's say, the organization of operational groups. Really, it is probably the region in Italy which exploited them in a better way. So we have 3 projects, the acronyms SMAX, FABER, and CLEANER. Where you read ER, it's because it's Emilia-Romagna, the name of the region. And they were all addressing issues of forest in our mountains, the mountains especially near Parma, the Apennine Mountains, where we have different issues in terms of forest production also of not just wood, but also mushrooms. For instance, we have a protected denomination here with the mushrooms. So these 3 operational groups, in parallel, they were funded in the region Emilia-Romagna. They were in the period end of 2019 to 23-24. The latest one finished in 24. And they were severely impacted by the COVID pandemics, because every time we had to go for the sampling or meet, especially meet in person, it was a real problem. So this is why we also had to adapt our situation. The 3 projects were in the same, let's say, province, but in different areas. and they were developed to address 3 slightly different problems, but they all included a research organization, which was the CINSA, an experimental farm, which deals also with forest, let's say, forest agroforestry, the consortia, which manages the forest at the local level, so they deal with the wood, they deal with mushroom production, and we also had a center for training and formation. So I think they were quite strong as operational groups because they could really start from the needs of the community, of the local community. In fact, we had 3 slightly different problems. How to measure the biomass, so the forest biomass, how to measure the entity of the biomass and even calculate the carbon, for instance, putting together measurements from the wood with measurements from remote sensing, trying to understand if the remote sensing can give some preliminary indication about the forest biomass. In the same forest, or let's say different forest in the same area, we tried to think about the cleaning of the wood residues, because when you take the trunks for energy, they leave the small material branches, etc. So we developed a method for chipping this material in situ with a machine that we developed, and bring all the material to a pyrogasification prototype plant to produce biochar. We brought the biochar back in the forest wood to spread on the soil and increase the quality of the soil in the forest. And we checked if this was more, let's say, useful for growing mushrooms, etc. So more or less we use different plants like conifers, broadleaves, beech, hazel. So we made some of the same experiments in different plots, in different type of plants, and the unifying factor was the biochar, so production of this carbon compound which stores carbon and is useful for managing the residues and helping cleaning the forest fires. I wanted to stress that the partner had already worked together, so we knew each other already, and this was a strong point of the operational group. One problem that we had in the application procedure, and I think it has become even worse now, is that to build an operational group, you have to include obligatorily certain categories of institution or farmers or companies, or so every time you build an operational group, you have some time to include people addressing these obligatory needs, and maybe they must be integrated in a tissue which is already available. So as I wrote, it can be a source of opportunities, but it can also be a source of problems. The next one, just to say about the implementation, considering that the projects started from real needs, the need to measure the biomass, the need to protect the fungi, the need to manage the biomass, etc. We had a very strong connection with this producer, let's say, forest producer, and they also had a very active part in cutting the trees, giving us the wood, etc. So we had this co-design process, which was important, but of course, is when you realize that speaking science and the practitioner, like the colleague was saying, sometimes requires an adjustment of language. It is not always easy. Formation, in my opinion, had a very important role, because with the opportunity given by the training, so the training center, which provided some information to some of the farmers, or let's say foresters, we could disseminate some of our knowledge. Of course, it was difficult because during COVID, some of the training was done online, but then towards the final part, we could go back into the woods. I also personally went to some study trips with some farmers, maybe not in this operational group, in another, And I also participated in training courses. So I understand that this can be a very good opportunity to, like we were saying, to give the knowledge and try to put it in an applied way so the people can understand it. In the next one, I have to say something which I really found, because unfortunately it was a task that I had to prepare the reporting material, and I don't know the others, but in our region they are really very, very, very keen on having a lot of documents, and this was for me the worst part, because sometimes I had to spend Saturdays and Sundays loading documents, receipts, demonstration of payment, 6, 7 demonstration of payments for the same payment. It was really crazy, and with no help, almost with no help. Then I have to say, the people in the region Emilia-Romagna, if you ask them, they try to help you, but then when they come for the check, they have no, let's say, no kindness. I mean, they have to check, and they always find something that is not good. So a very, very heavy administrative burden. In perspective, I hope it will become less, but I'm not so sure. Finally, the further exploitation. This is something which is, for me, is very interesting. I hope I'm not wasting too much time. I see that the Horizon Europe, even previously Horizon 2020, they had this new Living Labs Lighthouse approach, which to me, they resemble very much the operational groups. So they put together all the actors, they put together all the people involved in a specific, let's say, topic. They are required to spread knowledge, to involve them. So in my opinion, this is an evolution of the operational groups that can be the new, let's say, the new operational group, or at least complement. Maybe with the operational group, you have a smaller group doing exactly something. The Living Lab is wider, and you spread the information, but I think they can be connected, and it is a good opportunity that that we have. Also, just because at the same time there was Horizon 2020, so some of the partners tried to apply to some other projects, especially when the EU mission soil came out. We were already working on soil, so we could apply to some projects, keeping the cooperation with, for instance, the foresters or the people working in the woods. And we had also the opportunity to, let's say, complement the funding from the operational group with the funding from Horizon, because we were addressing different problems in the same site, and the scientific publications acknowledge both funding for the same activities. If I look at it now we have another regional project which involves private companies, which it's, let's say, still goes on the work with the sustainable forestry, the use of biochar, and how we can estimate ecosystem services. So our evolution now has moved towards ecosystem services, carbon credits. At the same time, we are applying to European funds in which we are measuring soil fertility, soil functionality, and we are exploiting some of the knowledge that we gather in the operational groups and some of the collaboration. We have a partnership, an ERANET in the Biodiversa, a Biodiversa project, transnational, but in our case, we are studying the same region. So we are continuing our work on soil and mushrooms, because this Biodiversa project is on the mushroom. And so I think that we have the possibility to exploit our knowledge also for new projects. And on this regard, I don't know if there will be something later on in the agenda, but the new Horizon calls that will come out tomorrow or so, I think they have some important possibilities for something like that, especially not thinking forest, but thinking transferring knowledge to farmers. I wonder if you are trying to address also this question. There are some very important calls for networks, for transferring knowledge, hubs, and I'm just curious to know if something is moving in that direction.
Thank you very much, Elena. Indeed, next week there are 2 days of the info days for Cluster 6. So
yes, I know.
we'll have more information in the coming days. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
To keep you waiting, Alex, it's your turn now.
Hi, thank you very much. Hi, Jacobos. I will share the screen, okay? Okay, it's okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So go to presentation mode. Perfect.
Okay, exactly. Okay, it's okay. Okay, thank you very much for being here. As you can see, I'm in beta. I'm leading the water line in the center, and today we explain to operational groups. We have that have been ended in the last year. Currently, we have 2 new more related to water. So in balance, we have performance for regrouping water. Our structure when doing operation group is always the same. It's led by a cluster, by an important cluster on the thematic, then with the different companies, and then at the research center that is beta. We involve stakeholders, mainly public administrations related to the water sector and the health. And finally, we provide a guide document in order that could be scaled or used for other users. I will explain to the REAQUA and the Terra Grisa. The REAQUA operational group was about innovative strategy for reuse water in the meat sector. We work with 4 meat industries, and we evaluate in a technical, economical, and regulatory way the performance of the technology. We test, and you have been here, different technologies, currently and market technologies, but we put in a cascade way in order to push the performance, and which is the best structure. Ultrafiltration, reverse osmosis, electrodialysis, oxygenation, and ultraviolet. The outcome of the operational group was water reuse efficiency. The cost of implementation detected here in the 4 meat companies was between 13 and 15 euros per cubic meter of operation. Doing that, the end users will benefit from recovering around 15% of water for cleaning tasks, because the new legislation, the past legislation when this working was done, didn't allow for other process than cleaning. And nowadays, the company have not implemented that because a new legislation in Spain has arisen, and they are analyzing if it's possible to increase this 15% of water reuse to more, and then it would be important to implement. In terms of legal aspects, as I commented, there is a new legislation in Spain that covers a lot of aspects in water reuse, from cleaning to water process, and applied to meat companies or to agro meat companies. The social expectations, it is important in industrial sector when there is a scarcity, as you hear below. When last year in Catalonia was a very important scarcity period for years, and the companies and farmers were need to reduce the water from 50 to 25%, depending on the state of scarcity that we were. But at the end, it was an emergency. So these reuse periods, using technology to reduce water in industries, are very important, and this operational group is an important result to implement this kind of technologies. I commented REAQUA was for meat companies, and the next one is Grandes Terra Grisa was for the farmers. It was applied in a farm that treat the pig manure water, the farm has a nitrification process, and we apply electrodialysis and ozonization in a way to produce water in a quality of to drink for animals, and on a quality to clean the farms. At the end, the quality is arrived was to clean the farm. The quality for drinking animals is the same that drinking water in the tap water was not achieved for different reasons. The cost of implementation here is more expensive than the previous one, and the important point to consider is the distance from the farm to the agro sector, or where nowadays the peak is introduced. Is very nowadays you can, if you have farms and you have land, you can add manure, and depending on the distance that you have to put the peak manure in a truck and go to the land, is the restriction to decide if this technology would be applied. If the cost is more than 10 euros cubic meter for 3 kilometers, it's complicated. When this distance is more than 84 kilometers, the cost fits, but the distance is too large. So the conclusion is these technologies must be decreasing cost if it would be satisfactory to be implemented. In case of removal, the nursing pollutants reduction was the half with only the electrodialysis, and with ozonation was nearly 100%. So the technology is good in terms of performance and in terms of efficiency, but by now is not good to be implemented in terms of cost. The past one was cheaper because the ultrafiltration and the osmosis is more implemented, and the cost is not as expensive as electrodialysis. In terms of outputs, the water reuse for cleaning operations is satisfactory, and as I commented, no, it was not 100% satisfactory, the aspect for achieving drinking water, because an additional chlorination step would be required. In terms of aspect, the legislation is the same one I commented before. There's a new legislation in Spain for water reuse. And in terms of acceptance, the same. If there is a scarcity, that people accept more this kind of treatments and the reuse of water. And there are more alternative water sources in terms to be implemented, because if there is no water, it's important to have an alternative. These operational groups came together, REAQUA and TerraGrisa, and the other ones we have now Redos Aqua and Digeva, in a way, in the country, to capture knowledge, and comes together with other projects like regional projects like Redos Capture, that we use different information from different operational groups and other projects in Catalonia, and we capture the knowledge. And we also use this information in the European project AQUAGRI-KNOW. The beta is leading, and I'm also participating to capture knowledge from different operational groups, not only in Catalonia, in different European countries, put this capture of knowledge in a way that could be shared for all the actors, and the knowledge applied could be replied in other sectors. Thank you. This is the end of my presentation. I thought that I have some time, and if later you have questions, I will be very pleased.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alex, for your very useful information, details on the OGs. So the last representative on operational group, Tunde.
Yes, thank you.
We are slightly behind schedule, but these 5 minutes is manageable. So
yeah, I will do my best. Sorry, it's not so pleasant to be the last one. I always catch up, but I will do my best. So good morning, everyone. My name is Tunde Gyarmati. I'm from Discovery Center. We are member of the Soil Exchange Project and one of the initiators based on our OG experience, which I will present soon. The focus will be one of our operational groups, which is actually combining traditional and digital soil monitoring approaches. But beyond the technological, let's say, developments or innovation, I would like to share our challenges, opportunities, and some takeaways. Before I'm going into details for this case study, maybe I briefly would like to mention that Discovery Center has the privilege to coordinate or being the member of more than 15 operational groups across Hungary in diverse roles like researcher or advisory services, and focusing mainly on soil health or soil management, sustainable farming practices, or precision technologies. This diverse experience has given us valuable insights into what makes operational groups successful, which I would like to share shortly. Though today's focus will be the case study on operational group study on precision soil monitoring in Somogy County in Hungary, the insights on collaboration, implementation, and knowledge transfer I would like to share, it's drawn from our complete OG portfolio. So regarding the project's context and problem in Hungary, like probably many other regions, many farmers want to adopt precision agricultures, but they all struggle with selecting appropriate technologies from all the offers they might have. Our OG was formed in response to a clear need we identified, and that is that farmers were overwhelmed by competing technology providers, each promising fast soil mapping results, but offering little clarity on which solution truly delivered value. As our farmer partner explained, and I quote, when I became a CEO of a farming company with 700 hectares in Somogy County, I tried to implement precision technologies, but couldn't tell which soil mapping approaches were actually reliable and worth the investment. So we realized that all this confusion was preventing widespread adoption of beneficial practices. So as a coordinator, Discovery Center established a multi-stakeholder framework to develop an integrated approach, which is combining traditional soil knowledge with digital tools. And the solution is centered around key 3 aspects. And these were the precision soil sampling based on management zones rather than the traditional grid sampling. And that at the end proved more cost effective. We used geospatial analyzing with digital elevation models to better understand the field topography and the water movements. And third was the GPS-enabled application equipment for targeted nutrient delivery. This approach, we think, directly addressed what we identified as bridging the science and practice challenge, really going beyond research and creating practical implementation path for our farmers. Our economic benefits directly address the most critical question farmers always ask: if there is a money in it. Well, we documented 15 to 20% reduction in fertilizer use without yield loss, which can be considered as immediate cost savings. In long term, our benefit from cost savings because of the more efficient resource uses, with also improved crop resilience during particularly in drought condition when it's very dry in Hungary, reducing the irrigation needs. Beyond the economic benefits, we also documented environmental ones, and those were more precise nutrient application, reducing the runoffs, and also documented soil health improvement with 25 to 30% improved root systems. Also, we observed increased biodiversity in different trial sites. What I think it's very important to mention here that all these tangible benefits are crucial for the adaptation, because the farmers want and need to see both the economic and also the environmental value to justify the transition. Our implementation revealed important insights about the OG process, of course, beyond the technical ones I have already introduced. we identified or found out that adaptation was significantly boosted by local demonstrations where farmers could see results firsthand. So this was much more effective than just simply technical explanation or the published materials which might be available. The knowledge sharing among farmers proved more effective than the top-down technical instruction. So when farmers can learn from peers who has already applied a new technology, then we observed that all the trust and the adaptation rates are increased sufficient. I mean, it's raised a lot. Technical support during initial implementation was absolutely critical for the success, because without this hands-on guidance, even the most pioneer or most enthusiastic farmers have been struggling. As we have heard in other discussions, it is a slow transition. So most farms needed about 3 years to see the full benefits. And I would like to emphasize that this timeline is really important implication if we think about how to structure and how to support OG projects. We directly addressed 4 common challenges identified by the farmers during the OG implementation. And these were the high initial costs, which were mitigated by helping secure subsidies or developing cost-sharing approaches among the farmer groups. The knowledge gaps were the second one, which were addressed through simple and visual step-by-step implementation guides that were focusing on practical actions and not the technical theory only. The technical complexity was again a sort of barrier, which were tackled by providing advisory support to ensure that farmers could get theoretical knowledge and hands-on support in one. And the variability of the results, which most likely, I think, frustrates farmers, were addressed by developing tailored solutions based on site-specific conditions. So really concentrating on the local conditions and solution instead of the one-size-fits-all theory. Based on our experience across multiple OGs, as mentioned previously, successful OGs we believe in the future we'll need to focus on creating practical tools farmers can immediately implement. So really important moving beyond knowledge sharing to action enablement. It's important to balance the innovation with proven practices, so integrating new technologies with traditional knowledge that the farmers already trust. And the economic pathways, I think, it's very important, so that have to make adoption feasible, and beyond the what, the how of implementation financing should be addressed as well. And creating the ongoing support system, not just one-time knowledge transfers, because as we all know here as practitioners, implementation is a journey and not simply an event. Our farm, again, I would like to note what he said, that the plant soil ecosystem, for example, in his environment is very complex, and an expertise is crucial when collecting and interpreting data. So again, the ongoing support is very essential to successful innovation adaptation. And at last, very shortly, our conclusions. Our OG demonstrated that technology adaptation isn't just about the innovation itself, but it's very important to create the right support ecosystem around this planned innovation. The future of OGs depends on our ability to make scientific advancement accessible, economically viable, and practically implementable. And achieving this balance will ensure, we hope and believe, that OGs can truly fulfill their potential as catalysts for sustainable agricultural transformation. And by this, I thank you for your attention. And here are further details if you would be interested in our OGs, the exact results, or the soil exchange project. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tunde. I think it's quite eye-opener, the 4 different examples, different countries, many opportunities, some challenges to be overcome, but okay, it's nice to see what is going on in different countries. So now, Margarita, it's your turn to tell us the other side of the story. I mean, how the Commission and DG Agri is looking in these challenges and opportunities.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, let me try to avoid. Sorry. Can you see my screen? No.
Yes, but we see us.
Okay.
Now we see the presentation. Okay.
Okay, super. So let me put in present mode and start. Okay, should be fine now, right? Okay, so thank you very much for having me here today. I'm part of the UCAP network, more specifically the support facility for innovation and knowledge exchange. We've been invited to be here today to talk a little bit about operational groups, obviously, and current challenges and opportunities. And therefore, I try to match your needs with this presentation, which is structured in 3 parts. I will start to explain a little bit who we are and what we do. So as part of the European Commission, DG AGRI, has put in place the UCAP network, which has 3 strands, meaning 3 scopes, let's say. One dealing with the CAP implementation in general, another one specific for innovation and knowledge exchange, including EIP-AGRI, and the third one dealing with the evaluation of the CAP. So for each one of these strands, they contracted support units, and the 4th one, which is transversal, dealing with communication and event support. So the UCAP network is constituted by all these different teams, and we, of course, my team is working on innovation and knowledge exchange part. So the logo reflects these 3 strands that I mentioned, and our color is the yellow. So that's why you see a lot of yellow in my presentation. Of course, there's a number of objectives that has been defined for the networking of the UCAP network, which, by the way, are common to the national CAP networks. And we, our team, as you can clearly understand from what I already mentioned, is contributing to several of these objectives, but more specifically working on this objective that is highlighted there in fostering innovation, supporting peer-to-peer learning, and inclusion of all stakeholders in the knowledge exchange and knowledge building process. So we have a number of activities and tools in place. You can see them there. I'm not going through them, of course. I just want to highlight a few things because I think it's important for this context, also for you to understand what we do specifically to support operational groups and the dissemination of their results. So you can see for instance, in the different types of events, we have workshops, seminars, and conferences, for instance, where we have frequently operational groups invited, either as participants, as speakers, with poster sessions, and so on. We have publications where we highlight concrete examples of operational groups, our newsletter as well, etc. More specifically, really dedicated to operational groups, besides these other activities where they are involved, but really specific for them, we have 2 types of activities. One are the cross visits, where we bring together only operational groups, no other people, only representatives from operational groups that are working on a specific topic from different countries. We bring them together to discuss their work and find opportunities for collaboration. And the other one is what we had last year. We organized award ceremony and awards to celebrate and highlight relevant operational groups working on different topics. So in a nutshell, this is what we do. Let's have a look now at the EIP and operational groups more specifically. Good. So first of all, EIP is not new, as you fully understand. It was launched already in 2012, but at the time this was really new. So it was a new approach that the Commission decided to launch, and it was new for everyone, also for the Commission, and also for us that we were already contracted then to support the Commission to facilitate and implement this new approach. It's still the same, the aim and the approach is the same as in the beginning. So it's really focusing on innovation and knowledge exchange and bringing together research and practice by using the interactive innovation model. And this interactive innovation model is really the key thing here behind EIP and operational groups. And the key principles, you know them very well. It's this bottom-up approach. So operational groups projects need to solve problems from practice that farmers, foresters, and rural entrepreneurs have in their work, in their daily life. And by doing this, we foster innovation by bringing partners that have complementary knowledge. So that's why you see these requirements to have in the partnership people with different characteristics, with different backgrounds, because this, with different eyes, you can more easily find a solution for this. Very important is always to keep farmers, foresters, and advisors on board, because they also have the knowledge. So this is also about recognizing that not only researchers have the knowledge, but practitioners, farmers do have knowledge as well, which is key if you want to have solutions that can be implemented in practice. So that at the end of a project, in principle, the results should be able to be implemented in practice. Of course, partners need to be involved throughout the whole project in co-deciding and co-creating together. This is a joint adventure. So in the current Common Agricultural Policy and looking a bit at the regulation, sorry, I'm not going to dive deep in this, but just to give an idea of what is behind this. So although operational groups started in the previous programming period, at the time we had rural development programs. We have now CAP strategic plans. They are basically the same. It's just the name that changed, let's say, from one programming period to the other one. So as I mentioned, EIP is still the same. Nothing changed in the current policy framework. Operational groups are strong there. There are some novelties. One of them is a stronger emphasis on agricultural knowledge and innovation system, the so-called AQUIs, but I'm not going to dive this deep into this because that's another full presentation. But also to highlight, there's a strong focus on farm advisory services because of their important role in supporting operational groups, in preparing, but also during the implementation, also in fostering that the results of operational groups can be more easily and faster uptaken by farmers. So they are key in this whole conversation about operational groups, and they are now expected to provide innovation support, so both in preparing and implementing operational groups. Then the objectives and the tasks of the EU CAP network, but also of the national CAP networks, we have the same objectives and tasks, and they include, among many other things, collecting information, facilitating dissemination of funded projects, supporting the network, and cooperation transnationally. Also, the CAP, this new CAP strongly encourages simplification. We already heard, and we know very clearly that this is still a big burden for not just for operational groups, but for many other projects. But we are here talking about operational groups. And this has been, again, strongly encouraged. And the Commission asked that this specifically attention in CAP strategic plans. So when member states were designing their CAP strategic plans, they should have met some objectives in terms of simplification. So in the CAP regulation, of course, and I'm talking about this because, of course, operational groups are funded through the CAP. And the CAP regulation is, in the end, what establishes the rules. And this is, I think, interesting for our meeting today to give you a bit of overview of the overarching policy behind it and what are the main highlights here. So there's an article which really focuses on EIP-AGRI. And among other things, I highlighted 2 points that come together when we talk about opportunities in the new CAP, but also challenges. One opportunity, clearly, is that now EIP-AGRI covers all CAP strategic and cross-cutting objectives. So in the past programming period, operational groups were focusing only, between brackets, on agriculture and forestry. Now they cover all 9 and cross-cutting objectives of the CAP. So we have now a broader spectrum of topics that can be tackled in operational group projects. Then there's another point that, well, many of you already mentioned it here strongly today, that it says that EIP-AGRI shall in particular be, besides other things, promote the faster and wider transposition of the solutions from operational groups mainly into practice. So this is a key thing. It's, for me, and for us, it's really a key point, because nobody wants projects to, and specifically operational groups, to end as a nice report or a nice pamphlet or with publications on the website. No, these solutions need to go to the fields, to farmers, to forests, to those who need it, and need to be put in practice. Otherwise, that's not the purpose of operational groups. So this is a bit what it shows what EIP-AGRI is about. So we are bridging together practice and research. That's also why we are bringing together 2 policies. So we are bringing together the Common Agricultural Policy, the CAP, and the Horizon, or the research program. That's why you here, namely the Horizon Thematic Networks, and the operational groups are here today in this event. This is a clear example of how EIP-AGRI is bringing together these 2 policies. So, and also to highlight, besides the points that are activities that I already mentioned, a very important thing, we have in our website a project database where you should be able to find all the projects. So now the CAP regulation also in this same article mentions some particular points regarding operational groups. Some of them are novelties. One of them is something that it's coming and bringing, it's an opportunity in one hand, but also brings several challenges. It says that operational groups may now act transnationally, including cross-border. So we can have now transnational operational groups or cross borders in the same country. So this means that you can have now operational groups with partners from more than one country. How to organize this, how to put this in place, this is now the challenge. But per se, this is a great opportunity, because innovation needs and the challenges don't stop at the border. So this is something new. But also, again, this is not new, but there's a stronger focuses on really this transposition and the dissemination of the results of from operational groups, and they explicitly now asked for operational groups to prepare a summary of their plans and the results of their projects, and to disseminate it through the proper channels, namely also the European and national CAP networks. So really a strong point on the dissemination. So the state of play now, so this is an update from the 5th of May, so it's quite recent, as you can see. We have there already operational groups that are now supported by the new CAP. In this new programming period, there are already 360. So these are the operational groups that have been reported by the managing authorities to the European Commission. So this is obligatory when projects are supported by the European Commission. They need to be reported in the system. So far, this is where we are. We have almost 4,000 projects from the previous programming period. We know that more are coming, even though the period is finished. There are still projects that are ongoing still. So, and some of them have not been reported yet by the managing authorities. So this number here regarding the previous programming period is still growing, while new OGs are already coming. So this is very exciting. This is just an overview of the topics they are tackling. You see the most common ones, plants and horticulture, etc. But there's a huge variety there. As I mentioned before, you can find all these projects in our website. If you go to the projects and practice, you have their EIP-AGRI project database. As I also mentioned, don't forget, EIP-AGRI brings together the two policies, Horizon and CAP. So in here, you will find not just operational groups, but other types of innovative projects. So then you need to go to project type if you're looking for operational groups and select operational groups. You can also have filtered with other means. Also to mention this, that this data that you will find in this database has been, validated by managing authorities. So this is an official system to upload the information there. So only managing authorities, and then the information is checked by the Commission, and only then the information is available for you in this database. So this is officially provided information. You have contacts there. I invite you to explore it, keeping in mind that almost on daily basis, new projects are coming up. So don't do it only once, do it frequently. Now, looking at current challenges and opportunities for operational groups. So, as I already mentioned, now EIP-AGRI has a broader scope. So it tackles all the objectives of the CAP, which means that new topics are now coming. And this is very interesting. And this is why you see now this is coming up. So these are the topics from the operational groups only from this programming period now, not from the oldest one, the previous one, sorry. So that's why, because the scope is broader, you see now projects coming up dealing, for instance, with ACIs in general, agriculture knowledge and innovation systems, or projects, operational groups dealing with rural issues. So this is an opportunity for sure. But then when thinking about opportunities and challenges, I want to highlight a study that has been done for the Commission, which was really interesting. It took place between September 2023 and June 2024. It covered the operational groups funded by the previous programming period, and it covered all member states that implemented EIP-AGRI, and also at the time UK. They conducted a number of surveys, and then they selected a few case studies. You have here the link to the full report if you want to see more. I'm just bringing to you some points that I think are interesting to highlight. One of the findings from this study is that indeed the operational groups have a huge number of results that can and need to be transferred and upscaled. So this is really, really interesting, and it also brings a challenge how to do this. But again, this is a must. Also, what is highlighted in this study is about the dissemination of operational groups, and to say, talking about taking the results of operational groups and upscaling them. So how can we do this, and what works best? So one of the things that was a conclusion from the study is also that you also have experience on this, as I already heard from your presentations just before mine, that reaching out directly to farmers, to foresters, and to advisors, to those who need these innovations to put in practice is what is the best way to do it. This is what works best. And also to showcase. It's really with demonstrations and going to the field, on-farm demonstration farms, really show field visits, open field days. This is about showcasing that this innovation is really beneficial and it can work in practice. And then, of course, you need to choose the right dissemination channels according to your audience. This is general communication understanding. So what they concluded is that indeed events dedicated to disseminated group results, on-farm demonstration websites, demo farms, these are the key channels to disseminate the results from operational groups. So, and therefore it is important to have active communication throughout the life of the project. So it's not enough that the results of operational groups should be communicated at the end. It should be communicated throughout the project life and beyond. Now, there's the big challenge as well, because once the project is finished, there's no funding anymore. Although the project operational groups can include in their activities and therefore can be funded as part of their project communication activities during the project, once it's finished, the funding is finished. So how to do this? So that's where I think you come in with a very important role in this, because this needs to go on. It takes time, as you already mentioned already, and you already found out. And it's also important to have a combination of communication channels. Of course, as I already mentioned, have targeted channels according to your audience, and important to have personal coaching and advice. So, looking at the partnerships, this is from the previous programming period, where you see that there's a big number of partners in the projects that are farmers, also research, advisor, etc. So this brings together what I already mentioned as a key cornerstone in operational groups, this complementary knowledge between the partners in the operational group. Very important to have on board is the farmers, the foresters, also advisors. Why? Well, not just because they have knowledge that is needed to find the solution for the problem they have, also to make sure that the project is practice-oriented and that the solutions at the end are really ready to be implemented in practice. So this is several reasons and key importance to have these practitioners on board. But also when thinking about the uptake of these solutions, as you also mentioned in the previous presentation, that this peer-to-peer learning is a key point. So when you want to disseminate the results of operational groups and transfer it to another farmer, it works better when it's a farmer that is explaining it. It's peer-to-peer, it's about trust. So we see this in the previous programming period. We see it's happening again in this current, now new programming period. Again, farmers on board, researchers on board, advisors on board. Advisors also key actors in this, not just supporting the project throughout, but also in disseminating the results. Key role in this. And then, okay, yeah, this is no news for you. Well, we heard a clear example just now, the administrative burden. So this has been high. I'm not saying that it's solved now, but attention has been put and asked from the European Commission to member states to simplify procedures. There are examples from other countries where simplified procedures are already being put in place, and this needs to be improved. But it's still a challenge. And this brings then to a question about the lead partner. So because we see that both in the previous programming period, where the research institutes came high as lead partners, but also in the new programming period, research institutes are again high as lead partners. So we heard this feedback from several occasions, several opportunities where it was mentioned that there is at some level, up to some level, the link between the administrative burden and the challenge that it is with having a research institute as a lead partner, because research institutes, most of them are used to deal with this, and somehow they have more capacity to deal with this, and also to face the time lapse between reimbursements requests and this kind of issue. So we see that this is still ongoing. I'm not going to mention everything that is here. So these are really the needs. So operational groups need to be really EIP-AGRI operational groups, meaning they need to tackle this interactive innovation model and focus on needs from practice. There's a need to promote this faster and wider transposition of these innovative solutions into practice. This is within and beyond borders. So this is, again, a challenge. And there are a few points where this can be, how this can be tackled on. I already mentioned of them. I want to highlight now the role of Horizon Thematic Networks, really a key role in this, where you can really help, and it's part of your task to help to do this. Of course, all this needs to be supported by the relevant actors. So at member state level, the CAP managing authorities are there to support. Also the CAP national networks, as well as the UCAP network, are there to support throughout the whole process of operational groups, before, during, and after. And also innovations, innovation support services, advisors I already mentioned before. So these are all key actors that need to support and need to be put in place to support operational groups. Now, another challenge, and which is a novelty that I already mentioned in the CAP regulation, is that now operational groups can be transnational and cross-border. So now the thing is that we can have one single operational groups, which has partnered in different member states, where those member states cover the cost for their partners. So this is possible in this current programming period. There are no transnational operational groups yet. This has been quite a lot. There has been a lot of discussions on this, but there are no examples yet, although there are a few that are coming close. And this refer, for instance, operational groups already in the past programming period, but also now, that have, so the operational group is totally funded in one member state, but they are contracting an expert or a partner in another country. The costs and the support comes from one single member state, but they are, let's say, getting knowledge from a different country. So this was already in the past possible. This is still ongoing, but this is not really a transnational operational group. There is another example, interesting, of that this is ongoing, just started now. So this is new in this programming period, where there are some operational groups from the Belgian region in Wallonia, where they are partnering with organization in Luxembourg, only that the partners in Luxembourg, their costs are paid by national funding. So this is, let's say, in practice, this is a kind of transnational operational group, but in essence, it's not, because there are not partners in the operational group that are paid for the CAP in more than one country. But it's something similar. So this is just to show that this is coming, hopefully. So as I mentioned, there has been several discussions about how to put this in place. Of course, there has been discussions. For instance, there's a governance body of the UCAP network, which is dealing with innovation and knowledge exchange. It's the subgroup on innovation and knowledge exchange. If you want to know more, I added a link below in the slide. You can understand more what is this subgroup. In this subgroup, we have representatives from all member states, all managing authorities, all national CAP networks, but also advisors, researchers, representatives from farmers' organizations. So there's a mix of different types of actors there. And in one meeting, we asked them to discuss these transnational operational groups. Several challenges have been mentioned there. I bring a few here. For instance, it's difficult for managing authorities and paying agencies from different countries because they have different administrative procedures and legislation. How can they work together and synchronize this? So also languages, how to find partners in different countries. So there are a few challenges. But also solutions were at the time already pointed out. So for instance, because this is something new, as I mentioned, there are no transnational OGs yet, we can start with small steps. So having one single call involving only 2 or very few member states, don't start with very complex transnational operational groups, just start simple. For instance, Portugal and Spain, Netherlands and Germany. They have common borders, have a simple 2 tests, like kind of a pilot, small steps. Then how to organize the timing of the calls. They need to be synchronized. There needs to be a strong collaboration between the national CAP networks to support this, namely, for instance, identifying topics for the calls, bringing together potential partners, help them find each other. But also the already existing networks and other structures can initiate and help in this process. And we believe that also the thematic networks could maybe help in this. They can, for sure, bring together potential partners that are interested in collaborating in the transnational operational group. This is, I think, that could be a role for the future for transnational operational groups. So then this topic was further discussed in a workshop that we had recently, and indeed the thing about start small, start with a pilot, maybe use for, at least for some activities, national or regional funding. This is possible. There can be a split, so the idea of partners from one country being paid by the paying agencies of their country and the others from the other country, that's the way to go. Having national CAP networks organizing this matchmaking, but as already mentioned, also maybe Horizon Thematic Networks could have a really interesting role in this. Yeah, and it was mentioned very specifically for thematic networks that maybe a short document with information on how they can possibly support these transnational operational groups could help in trigger this process. So this is a summary of what I already mentioned to you. The key challenges are still the dissemination and by practice of the solutions that operational groups are coming with, this organization of transnational and cross-border operational groups, and the administrative burden for the partners in the operational groups specifically. So there are several opportunities as well there. Well, there's a lot of experience coming from the previous programming period. For sure, this now counts because, as I mentioned, EIP-AGRI and operational groups were launched in 2012. At the time, there was zero experience. So when managing authorities and the Commission launched the funding and the calls, everybody was learning by doing. So now the situation is different. There's already a lot of information, and on that, I think thematic network can also help with this, bring up to the EU level what experiences are there, what are the needs, what needs to be improved. This is a key thing and very important to take up and improve everyone that is involved. There is a broad supportive ecosystem. I already mentioned the EU and CAP networks, and Horizon Thematic Networks, but there are now also the ACIS coordination bodies in each member state. They are active in doing what needs to be done and putting in place the structures and the organizations and the actors so that these knowledge flows are effective, and more specifically so that the results of operational groups don't end in nice publications and really reach the petitioners and from their project and further beyond, because this needs to be taken up by the region of the operational group, but needs to be broader. So because the solutions are important, not just for those directly involved. So this is basically what I wanted to share with you. I'm sorry if I took too much time, hopefully not. And well, thank you for having us here today.
Thank you very much, Margarita. No, I think we were on time, the dedicated 30-minute slot. So
thank you.
Just to catch up where you mentioned about dissemination, I think we are in the middle of our workshop, so it's time for a group photo before, okay, we are overwhelmed of information. So, Daphne,
yes, thank you very much.
Everyone,
can you all switch your camera on? Anyone who wants to be included anyway?
So dress up, right? Or switch off on your cameras.
I'll wait a few more seconds. Okay, so please smile. Thank you very much. I took my screenshot.
Okay, after this happy break, I think Barbara will present us the results of a survey, similar survey of what you mentioned, Margarita. Barbara, the floor is yours.
I'm sharing my screen. Please confirm that you see it in the presentation mode.
Yes.
Okay. So hello again. I'm Barbara from the Soil Exchange project, and in this little slot, I will present the results of our survey on operational groups across Europe. This was so the main part of the collected data is coming from Soil Exchange, but we extended the scope, and now we have results even from the countries which are not covered by Soil Exchange, but covered by the other projects here. So the aim was to identify some key challenges, benefits, and future opportunities from the initiative and the application process through the implementation to see the future. We received 152 responses from 12 countries, ranging from Slovenia and Hungary to Spain, Greece, and Ireland. The diversity of this reflects the wide variety of agricultural systems and also a wide variety of policy environment, which ensures also that our insights are representative of different realities across the European Union. So to start with the application stage, respondents described that the application process is demanding. The majority reported high personal effort was needed to prepare the proposals, with many rating the process as difficult or very difficult. These findings suggest that the system still favors experienced or well-resourced resource groups, raising some entry barrier for smaller or newer applications. When asked about specific tasks, most OGs found it easy to define the problem, but much harder to build a partnership structure, even though we can see here that identifying some partners and experts went more easily. So this underlines that the need for facilitation and matchmaking support is still there in the early stages of operational group formation. During the implementation phase, the challenges shifted. The most common issues were the understanding the needs of the different actors, which led to non-participation of partners or lack of structured meetings. So it reflects both coordination and capacity gaps that could weaken project outcomes. And this slide goes deeper into the systemic barriers. Many operational groups said it was impossible to adapt project activities in the midway. Collaboration with researchers were difficult, and the dissemination was weak. These are critical weaknesses that were mainly mentioned even before by Margarita, so it is not a new information, but we need to be aware of them if we want innovation to scale beyond the initial group. The main benefits, despite the challenges, are OGs reported that they have expanded their peer networks, which also to reflect back a bit on the previous presentations, how important it is to to have a knowledge exchange on the peer level. So thanks for operational groups. They reported that this has happened in a very high amount. Many adopted new practices and new tools, and importantly, the OG experience helped building new skills and stimulated ongoing innovation. These benefits show also why the continued support of operational groups are this important. The survey also shows that the OGs are worth recommending. Almost all participants say that they would encourage others to get involved. And they also believe that participation in operational groups leads to better farm performance through innovation and experimentation. And finally, the respondents identified clear actions to make operational groups more successful, which includes the simplification of administration and also the reporting progress, speeding up the payment procedure, and also pre-financing for operational groups. Moreover, long-term funding opportunities so that once they finish, they can continue their work on an upper level. So these are the critical points that they highlighted. Thank you for your attention, and I think it was a bit faster than we expected, but maybe it's even better in the taking into account the...
No problem, Barbara. Thank you very much. I think that some of the challenges can be addressed by us, I mean, the thematic networks, some not, but at least our objective is to highlight them. So we have here people that may potentially address them. So it's time to move away a bit from presentations and start an active discussion. Giacomo and Carla, the floor is yours.
Yeah, hello, hi everyone.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jakobs, and thank you very much for all the speakers. I think all the presentations were really interesting and give a lot of information from different perspectives. So first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Carla Fabré. I'm working in Beta Technological Center, and I'm also the coordinator of AQUAGRI-KNOW project. It's one of the newest projects that are part of, is part of this.
Carla, you are muted.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, now you are also frozen.
Yes.
Giacomo, can you continue while Carla?
Yeah, sure. I will introduce quickly myself. I am Giacomo Mezzetti. I'm from the company ET Florence, and we are in charge of the dissemination, communication, and exploitation of the Forest for You project. And Carla, you just came back.
Yes, sorry, I don't know what happened with my.
So do you want to continue?
Connection. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you hear about my introduction. My name is Carla Fabré, and I work at Beta Technological Center. I'm the coordinator of AQUAGRI-KNOW project. It's one of the newest projects.
Oh.
I think the problem is the project. By
the workshop.
Sorry, Carla, by the time you mentioned the AQUAGRI project, you are frozen. So skip the term.
Okay, so I will go straight to the discussion panel. So we would like to discuss a little bit about what's the best way to support OGs. So first of all, we would like to know a little bit about the audience, also your experience in OGs. So we built workshop questionnaire. Let me share the screen. So first of all, we would like you you to share with us. Well, first, if you can connect once my screen is shared. Okay, so if you please, you can scan the QR or just go straight to the web page and introduce the code, the event code. So I will give a couple more minutes. The first part of this participatory and interactive questionnaire is that we would like to collect the experience from the audience on OG's participation. So first of all, we would like you to, in one word or really short phrase, just write what was the main barrier that you faced during your OG project. I mean, we've been discussing a lot during the different presentations about the main barriers and problems, no? Most of them linked with knowledge transfer, stakeholder engagement, different topics. But I think it's interesting to see the perspective from the different type of participants that now we are here together. Okay, it's interesting, the different results that we can see in the screen. Some of them linked with this multi-actor engagement, this co-creation, this connection, but also linked with the administration and bureaucracy aspects. Okay. I think 20 people was registered to the questionnaire, so let's wait. Yeah, so most of them can be linked with the main ideas, main lines that the different speakers shown during their presentations. So difficulties for knowledge transfer, difficulties for this multi-level engagement, this the way of connect different stakeholders, but also the lack of engagement with public administration, no, the bureaucracy that you can find in the process. So yeah, thank you everyone for participating. And now Giacomo, he will start with some questions, and then I will take the floor again. So
yeah. Thank you very much, Carla. So I see that administration is, of course, at the center of all the words, the main words. So mainly directed to our speakers that presented during the case studies. So during the experiences from OG formation and operations, do you find that all these main words were like affecting your experience also? And so how did you dealt with them? And so the first question is, did you find, so this is directed to Pedro, Elena, Alexandra, and Vince mainly. Did you find like this all of these problems and issues as the main problems that you also faced during the OG formations? So I don't know who wants to start, maybe Pedro or?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Pedro.
Yes, I think that is the main question is the organization. I saw a lot of words, but these words they are really the mirror of the problem. organization, administration, bureaucracy, payments. You see, it's really, for us, the producers, it's really difficult to show our expenses. Because we don't have an employee. We are not employees. We are the workers and the boss at the same time. So we can show. It's difficult for us to show how or to get any payment for our time, the time we spend on the OGs. Nobody pays us. It's really hard to participate in these projects. For you to know, in the most of the OGs, the producers, they quit from participate because they don't. It was the easiest way to simplify the bureaucracy. So it is annoying to say that, but is the truth. It was so bureaucratic that leads to people to quit from the projects. And so it's a pity, but it is like it is.
Yeah, of course, I can understand like that during the OG formation, like you have to take into account like so many aspects, and you have like just a few people, and maybe you have to be specialized in some sectors just to manage like completely all the aspects and to cover all the aspects of the OG formations. I don't know, Elena, do you want to add anything?
Can you show the words again, or it's not possible? So, however, I think yes, many of those, of course, administration is the biggest one. The one I wrote was organizing events in person. I see there was also somebody else, because of course, not just for COVID, but sometimes also to find a good number of people from practitioners, etc., willing to come to an event. If you don't offer a free lunch or whatever, sometimes it's difficult, no? So we tried to organize conferences or workshops, etc., but really making the people, the farmers or the foresters come, it's always difficult. Even organizing the training courses, we had to do it in the evening because they are always working, of course. So these are practical difficulties that have to keep into consideration, that the one that you try to address, like Pedro was saying, they have many other things to do, they are working in the field, etc. No? So yeah, really we had to teach in the evening, and of course they were tired in the evening, so it was really not very good. But yeah, I think it can be very stimulating from many points of view. Of course, a little less bureaucracy could be a good idea, yes. Transnational, I see really as a challenge, because we were speaking about local language. If you start doing transnational and you have to speak in different languages, it might be a problem. However, we brought our farmers to Spain, and after half an hour of translation, then they went on speaking among themselves without any translation. Italian and Spanish, at least, can be accommodated. Other languages, it would be more difficult.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Of course, we see administration and let's say as the biggest problem right here on the screen, but of course, as also Margarita stressed out a lot, and it's right to do that, we have to speak also about knowledge transfer. So how much we are able to transfer and share all this knowledge generated by the OGs. Elena, do you feel by your experience that it will well represented or underrepresented, like in your case?
Well, in our case, I think we, at least speaking for myself, we did not make a good effort enough, let's say, to publish in sector magazines, which I think are a good way for reaching people. Maybe we did only one across the 3 projects that I mentioned you in a technical magazine for forestry. What I found, in my opinion, it was good. We prepared guidelines for each of the projects. They were written in Italian and they are still available on the website, so nobody is taking them out. They are guidelines referring to the experience that we had in our project, with some indication of how you use biochar, how you produce biochar. So I think they were quite good. And in my opinion, they can be still disseminated and used also beyond the life of the project. But they are not a publication with a DOI or a code. No? So it's just they are available on the website together with videos, together with this kind of thing. I would have preferred to be able to write some paper in sectorial magazines, but we couldn't. We did some scientific publication, also that not even too much, because, you know, with some kind of experiments, if you don't have 3-4 years of replication, you cannot really publish. So we didn't publish results on fungi or mushrooms, etc. But yes, I would say thinking of sectorial publications could be a good idea to reach the correct target.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think it's important also to highlight, sorry, Giacomo, when you're talking about knowledge transfer, and something that Elena mentioned on her presentation about the adjustment of this language, of the technical language to a more practical language. Is there any recommendation or any tool that help to build up this new way of more practical technical knowledge?
Well, in our case, it was the training center. Let's say we had a specific partner involved in formation, because at least in our projects, it was a requirement to have, let's say, a specific budget for the training. And it was completely in charge of this specific organization. They have to belong to a catalog, whatever, and they are always organizing training courses. So they were the one who translated, let's say, the scientific language into the practical one. Then when we met together, yeah, of course, you speak as a university professor. Sometimes it's not always so easy. If you try to simplify, sometimes you just end up being ridiculous. But I mean, the training center, it's their job. So they can take the scientific and translate it, at least in that level. In this case, I would say we did not have consultants or extension services. In other projects, we were more near that. I really think that for farmers, the extension services have to do this job. So the extension service must be a person with a degree in agronomy or whatever. They can understand the science and they can go to the farmers and give them the practical tools and explain why a drone or a sensor or a biostimulant or whatever can be applied and the benefits, etc. And this is their role. So another thing I miss is a good interaction with these extension services.
Okay, thank you so much, Elena.
Thanks to you.
Thank you. And so we have 2 raised hands at the moment. So Tunde and Pedro. Tunde, do you want to go first?
Yes, probably what I would like to mention, that you also said this layered knowledge product for different audiences. So it can be more technical for the advisors. But what we experienced for farmers, the visualization. So, okay, it's a practical language, of course, they use and they talk. It's very important. but visual tools like having, let's say, a before and after impacts. If you can show them really what's been before and what you achieved, and that you can also document with economic benefits, I think this is something which certainly raised their interest and can be really enhanced for knowledge sharing. And also the distribution of these results of the OGs. This is also, I think, Soil Exchange is trying to do. So with the developing dashboard, we are doing really not only gathering the OGs products or projects, but their outcome and their effects, their impact, their economical and economic impacts, and showing that, visualizing in a way that can be easy and attractive to farmers, so they easily can imagine if they would use this or that methods, then what would be their value and beneficial things in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Tunde. Anything to add, Pedro?
Yes, here the dissemination, you see, is really difficult in forest to show results to people in the country, in the field. But what we do is to dissemination, is in charge of dissemination is the Producers Association, and they can put in simple words decodified the scientific words to farmers' words. It's more easy to do that, and they have a wide contacts to the associates, to the forest producers, in our case, so they can spread all over, and it's much easier to speak. We say producers speaking to producers, so we are farmers speaking to farmers. It's easier to do that way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pedro. So, Carla, do you want to ask anything more?
I think it was also interesting during the presentations what Tunde mentioned about the economic benefits that the implementation of these new practices may directly affect to the producers. Is there any easy tool that you use for this economical evaluation that you may want to share with us? Because I think it's always a problem to make visual the way of this practical implementation will increase the economic aspects.
Carla, if you want, I can answer. In our case, we have not used a tool. As I commented, we use a guide to share the results, but that depends a lot of the kind of operational group. No, in our case, the operational group were very technological, and what I commented, sometimes you propose a technology, and later on you realize that it's not possible to scale up again in any places because the cost is expensive, or because the efficiency has not been what you expected. No, from. So it's good to have something to share and to prioritize, but I think so. The first point is that what you propose is economically and feasibly in terms of operation. It's my opinion.
Thank you, Alex. Does anyone want to add something related to that? Okay, so I think we gave some ideas that may help to support and stimulate the implementation of new OGs projects. And now we would like to share another questionnaire open to all the audience, linked with another aspect, the aspect that we think is really important in OGs project is that the implementation of the innovation. So we would like you to rate from 1 to 5, if this innovation developed was suitable for the initial problem faced, because most of the OGs just start and begin from a common problem. We also would like to ask you if this innovation that developed has had potential for long-term continuation. Also, if the innovation developed was implemented after the end of the project. So once the project finished, this implementation continued on time or not, or just finish with the end of the project. And also if you've seen that there are any or were other users that weren't from the OG, so outside the OG project, different participants, if they implemented this innovation. We will give a couple more minutes, because we thought that it would be really important to also know the opinion of the audience, because there might be a lot of people who's actually participating on OG's projects. Well, so for the first results, it's something that we were also agreed on, that the innovations that the OGs present and try to apply in practice were linked directly to the problem that was faced primarily, and also the OGs tried to have this potential long-term continuity of the innovation, but the main problem was that once the project is over, it's difficult to continue with this technology, with this practice without this economical reward. And it's even difficult to spread this technology, this innovation, to people who is not directly linked to the OGs. So I think maybe Pedro could explain us a little bit if all the recommendations that they were working during the OGs, the ones linked with, for example, the fertilizers recommendation, if they see that they continuing applying them, applying there after the project, or I don't know if you could track this, or do you have idea about it? Pedro, could you?
Yes. Well, yes. I think our OG, it was really a strong need in the sector. So if it is a strong need in a sector, and if you get a good response, the sector will use it. And of course, in our case, the sector are using, and the labs, the soil labs and the nutrition labs, they accept very well the results, and now they are using and doing recommendations based on soil samples, on needle samples. So people are using that, and they are, because they really need to know that, because nobody knows. They did huge investments on new stands of Pinus pinnea, and nobody is sure about what was the nutrition of Pinus pinnea. So nowadays they are using that very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Pedro. And also link, yeah, I will give you I was actually thinking about asking you a question, Tunder. Linked about this technical support that you mentioned in your presentation, do you think that's also a problem, a barrier the lack of this technical support for the long-term continuity of this innovation?
The lack, sorry?
Well, I was asking, I think, Tunda, I don't know if I'm pronouncing.
Yes,
Dr.
it's correct. Yes, it's correct.
So I was
Tunde.
thinking about linking this lack of technical support, the difficulty of this technical implementation, to the continuity of this, the application of the new innovations developed.
Yeah, what I think it's important is an accessible support system. So what we are doing, and most likely Elena has mentioned previously, living labs. We do have an established living labs, which are also functioning actually as local knowledge hubs. So, you know, when technical knowledge exists, then it's not only the advisors, but then this really centered little knowledge hubs who does have this technical background and ability to show it, to demonstrate it, and to really teach each other, the farmers and the peers and so on. It helps a lot. So I think indeed the accessibility for such support system, it's very important. It's one of the aspects that can help. And then if I got the words, may I maybe mention also that the community ownership, which we also, I think, very important. Then when you have this OG and the OG is finishing, that you don't have the feeling that the technical provider or the researcher or whoever runs away. So really everybody has this community collaboration for the sustainable practices, and that can help a lot also, I think, to maintain the thing. And also if your innovation really creating an economic benefits actually, which is ongoing, then it's most likely motivating the project outcomes to be kept on also in the sites, and also new ones by the demonstrations and learning. So I think it's different aspects that can help. And like you mentioned, technical is one of those which I would certainly recommend or mention.
Thank you. And I think it's also important to link it with the regulatory approach, the regulatory evaluation that Alex was mentioning. Could Alex, you maybe explain a little bit, if you link the innovation that you were using for the operational group to any regulatory barrier, or do you face any relation between the implementation of the technology to the regulatory barriers?
Okay, thank you. Yes, as I commented when we started the both operational groups, well, was an ancient law in Spain from 2007, where the water reclamation was only focused on urban water or urban wastewater, but we pushed the operational groups in terms of generate evidences that this kind of water could be reused. Nowadays, we have a new regulation from last October, where the water reclamation is open not only for urban water, wastewater, sorry, also for industrial wastewater and including the agro sector. But even though there is a clear legislation, what is difficult by now is the implementation, because the legislation covers what are the parameters that you need to analyze from the point of view of the water associations. But at the end, the last word is on the table of sanitary sectors or sanitary public sectors in Spain, or here in our case in Catalonia, no? And the interpretation of that is what difficults the implementation. So as a summary, there is a clear legislation that you can operate innovative technologies for water reuse in Spain in agro sector, but the way how to implement, as the law is very recently from October 2024. The way how to proceed is still not clear 100%. So that's why some companies and some technologies are not still implemented in different factories, and mainly the main difficulties in the agro food sector, because there is a lot of relationship with citizens, is where the sanitary authorities has more are not 100% confident that how to proceed.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. Giacomo, if you want to take the floor?
Yeah, sure. So I think we are running out of time.
Sorry, Giacomo, someone is raising his hands. Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to give the floor to Daniel. So do you have anything to ask, Daniel? Hello.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm not sure whether the discussion is open to external participants, but I would like to support Tunde, what she has mentioned, and about the living labs as a, let's say, sustainability tool for keeping to cooperation and innovation. And I think that from the soil mission, those living labs could be considered also as a potential operational groups. So for the future cross-country or transnational operational groups, it's really a very good opportunity, to work with living labs. In addition, since Margarita mentioned or was speaking about future transnational operational groups, I'm aware of one call, which is being developed for German-speaking countries for operational groups like Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. So that could be also taken as a good example. And sorry for not introducing myself. I'm Daniel Ač, and I'm representing bioeconomy cluster from Slovakia. Unfortunately, in Slovakia, we don't have operational groups because of bureaucracy and everything that you have mentioned before. But I think that, so this is just one example of potential cross-country operational groups, like this German example that we are now observing within our soil exchange project. And also I have witnessed, not within CAP strategic plan or rural development program, but within structural funds, that there was a possibility to spend part of the budget of the program outside of the country. I think that current legislation does not allow it for the CAP strategic plan. I'm not 100% sure, but I think. But that could be potential solution for financing from one country, also, let's say, a partner from other country. I know it was possible in structural investment funds, or like ESI funds before. Otherwise, thank you for great presentations, and I have a lot of notes taken with me to our AQUIS coordination body and managing authorities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. So I think it's time to move on, Yakovos, and so I thank you very much all the speakers here participating in the panel discussion and for giving their contribution regarding the main challenges and barriers for the OG and how to better support the OGs. So thank you very much, Yakovos.
Thank you. Sorry, everyone, that will be a bit late. I mean, 5-10 minutes. I hope you are not that hungry. So to close the day, let's see what the thematic networks have developed or are developing for the benefit of OGs. Patricia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jakobs. I try again to share my screen. Well, I'm not a...
No, you have privileges. You want me to... You want me to share?
Yes, when you share the screen, I present myself. I'm Patrizia Borsotto. I'm a researcher at the Center of Agricultural Policy and Bioeconomy of the Council for Agricultural Research and Economics in Italy, and I'm involving in the BBioNets project. I'm the VP leader of the task about the BBBT implementation. Please go to the next slide, in which we can see the roadmap that the project followed in order to identify and implement the best suitable bio-based technology that we have stored in the inventory. And thanks to the assessment tool that the project has created and the regional dynamics study conducted in each country involved in the project. Today, I just wanted to stress about the activity of the tools that we have made and that are referred to the inventory, to the assessment tools, and to the regional dynamics. So go on. Yes, please go on in the next one. And all these tools are stored, as Carmen said before, in an online knowledge platform that you can reach thanks to the QR code that is divided in 4 groups. The first is referred to the inventory, the second one to the assessment tool, then there are the regional dynamics and the knowledge transferred. Please go on. And you can see in this slide on the left the snapshot of the inventory that is a repository of BBTs that we have collected from operational group project, but also from a project funded by European, national or regional funds. The BBT are categorized according to 6 main dimensions that refers to the OG or project attributes, and then to the dimension of the specific characteristic of the BBTs. We refer to the categorization and the implementation of the bio-based technology. Then we also collect data about the effect resulting from the use of the bio-based technologies and also about the costs. You can deal in the platform, download also a document about the characteristic of each BBT. At the moment, we have more than 100 BBT stored. Thanks to this information, an assessment tool was generated in order to prioritize the most appropriate BBT for each country that are involved in the project. To do that, we have created tools that rank the BBT in taking in account 3 dimensions: the efficiency, the cost, and the sustainability. As you've seen in the graph, on the dimension of the ball represents the sustainability of according to the 3 dimensions of economic, social, and environmental one. On the top of the horizontal axis, there are the BBT that should make a higher investment for the raw materials, and the area to the right of the vertical axis is that of more effectiveness or beneficial to the need of the region. In contrary, if a BBT falls in the lower right quadrant, the BBT would be cost saving in the supply value and more effective. But if it falls in the upper left quadrant, it would be less effective and less cost saving. So thanks to this assessment, we can be able to identify the most 5 suitable BBT for the FUN area. If we move to the next slide, this activity is made thanks to the meeting with the stakeholder of the fund by involving the advisory board of the project, but also thanks to the regional dynamic analysis that give us the maturity of each country in terms of framework, in terms of bioeconomy, of needs, and of resources. In the platform, you can also can find the last section, that is the knowledge transfer activity that is under construction, and that contains all the materials that could help farmer, forestry, but also all the stakeholders of the AKIS to go deeply in the results of the project, and that could be used for improve the network and the cross reference among the stakeholders. I think that's all, and thanks everybody.
First of all, and now, okay, Giacomo.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right. Full presentation. So thank you very much. Hello again, I'm Giacomo from the Forest for You project, in charge of the dissemination and communication of this project. And so I will quickly go through exploring about where our material is, what we produced. So basically, I wouldn't not stress too much on what already Francesca said previously this morning about like the methodology we selected the innovation. So basically, it was a multi-actor approach for prioritizing like the many innovations that we faced. And so at the end, we had 5 innovation topic hubs divided as you can see by the main topics. So the wood mobilization, forest adaptation to climate change, sustainable forest management and ecosystem services, and no wood forest products and agroforest.
Giacomo, sorry to interrupt you, but we are not seeing the next slide. We are still seeing the first one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know why.
It
doesn't change. Yeah. So you cannot see me changing the slide.
No.
So I will keep that. Yeah, I'll keep like this. Okay. So as I was saying, I was listing the 5 innovation topic hubs right here. So from these topic hubs, where 86 OGs participated in collaboration with our project. So the partners gathered to, let's say, to get like the main innovations and divide them, separate them by technical reports, articles, and videos, as they are capacity building materials, and they produce a total number of 172 fact sheets. So basically, the main aim of this material was, of course, to support the stakeholders to understanding and implement, and for the implementation, and so just to have let's say the same line with project goals and the various national context. Of course, the material is available for learning, and so we have also videos, and of course we have to consider also the regional needs, because as we stressed before, that the knowledge sharing is one of the main issues that are affecting the OGs. Also, the language is one of the main barriers that we faced. So for this reason, our capacity building material is available in several national languages. So if you go on our website, you can see here in the upper part, the capacity building material is divided into different IT hubs. So from the 1st to the 5th. And for each one of them, you can explore different kind of documents, as I mentioned before. So we have technical reports, articles ready to be downloaded, and you also have the sections to explore the videos. Yeah, so basically that's it. And we also have the YouTube channel where all our videos are available. So also in this, let's say, in these documents, you can find also all the information regarding all the OGs that participated within the innovations. And regarding the OGs specifically, on our website is present an interactive map, so you can access from the upper part of our menu. So you can select each country we are collaborating with, hosting OGs, and then you can explore here by clicking one of these points on the map. You can explore the website, you can explore the material and the IT app they are working on. So as I mentioned, this is our YouTube channel where you can find like all the videos separated by the different IT hub and for innovation, available again in several languages. Also, regarding the fact sheets, they are available in different repositories, because as also I think Elena said something about the project that yeah, once it is handed, of course, this material has to remain like for who is interested by implementing the OGs. So because of this reason, we uploaded the fact sheets into different repositories. We can see Rosewood, Climate Adapt, OPLA, New Farm Book, and Zenaldo. You can see that they are not like distributed evenly, the fact sheets within each repository. Also because they are working, some of them are working mainly on different topics. But then, of course, since this material will be available, you have the links. So if you want to explore a little bit more, all our fact sheets are available. So thank you very much. This was all from my side.
Thank you very much, Jacobo. I'm taking over for Jacobo due to a power shortage that he has. Let's move on to Barbara. Would you like to present your slides? Thank you.
I'm sharing my screen. Do you see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So now I'm going to present you the available resources and upcoming resources for operational groups developed by Soil Exchange. First of all, I was not really mentioning in the first presentation the webinars and workshops, because I wanted to bring it here, as these workshops are open for operational groups in a national level, because these are mainly in a national level. We have one per year in every member countries. Plus, we are holding 3 webinars and 3 workshops in English, which is also open for participation. You are finding any information about it on the website, where you also will find the 60 practice abstracts that we are developing. 23 of them is going to be published in the upcoming months. So you are not finding anything yet, but through this QR code, you're going to go to the link where at the end of June, you're going to find them, or like maybe July. The topics include 5 subcategories. We wanted to cover the topic from every aspect. So from soil conversation to policy topics, it will include everything. Another very important aspect of the tools are going to be the adaptation guides and fact sheets and audiovisual materials, which are going to be based on the sustainable soil management practices that we collected. As I already mentioned, at the moment we have 68, but this number is hopefully growing. This 68 practice will go through our knowledge board, whom are going to is a board of experts, and they are going to choose 18 best practices. analyzing the practices based on the criteria climate change resilience, adaptability, and soil health improvement. And we are going to work, I mean, all these practices is going to be like you will find them, but with these 18 best one, we are going to work more, and we are going to introduce them through knowledge materials in an economic, environmental point of view. So you're going to find also these on the website. And the most important outcome of soil exchange in terms of these tools are going to be the dashboard, which is going to be launched at the end of June, in July this year, which is going to include all the practices, and you are going to find different charts, comparison charts, Gantt charts. So this is going to be fed by the soil exchange database, and as well you can reach the other materials from this website. Of course, the fact sheets and practice abstracts is going to be like you can reach them also from other websites, but I did not list anything yet because they are not existing yet. So, but the expected launch of most of these things are in the next 2 months. So this is from Soil Exchange. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Looking forward to your dashboard this summer. And let's move on to the last presentation for today. Anna, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Daphne. Okay, the last presentation. I will be very fast. Okay, so let's start with these available resources for the OGs from NUTRI-KNOW side. Well, here is the list, but we'll go directly to the content. The first resource that can be useful is our database containing the knowledge of the NUTRI-KNOW operational groups related to nutrient management, of course. This database presents this knowledge in a very structured and visual way. And importantly, the database also includes the evaluation made by the stakeholders who have implemented the innovation. So this way, an external farmer or a stakeholder can consult this database and learn more about the innovation of the operational groups on a technical level, but also about their economic feasibility, for example, their approximate ROI, among other things useful for the implementation of this innovation. Okay, in addition to this database containing the knowledge of the OGs enriched to NUTRI-KNOW, we also have an inventory of current practices in Europe in the field of nutrient management. This is a document in the form of a report and can be found on the NUTRI-KNOW website here. But we also have the kit of practice-oriented material, which include different materials to promote the implementation of the operational groups practices. There are different material and each has a different function and gives different information. For example, we have a series of short animated videos that are more informative for the general population, but we also have different fact sheets that contain more technical information on the innovation and on the innovations. And finally, we have also practice abstracts that contain more practical information on how to implement the innovation, benefits for the farmers, etc. And you can consult all this material in the NUTRI-KNOW website, but also in open repositories such as the EU Farm Book. I have to say that we have designed this material mainly for farmers and practitioners, and this material has been evaluated by them. And we are now in the process of implementing such changes and republishing the improved materials during this July. Okay. In addition, we have also developed an online course, a MOOC, designed for farmers and practitioners in training. We have done this with the help of different agricultural schools, which have given us feedback on the course, and we have improved this course according to their comments. Well, the course has 6 modules, one per each step of the nutrient management value chain. And at the end of each module, there is a self-assessment test to evaluate whether the main knowledge of each innovation has been acquired or not. You can access this MOOC via our website, and we are working to the EU Farm Book to incorporate to their platform also. Okay, and another tool we have developed in the NUTRI-KNOW is our community practice, online community practice that brings together practitioners, researchers, policymakers, well, different actors to share, well, common concerns, ask specific questions, or simply have a conversation with another member of the community. Importantly, it is available in different languages of Europe. And to join, you have to register, but it's a very simple, very easy registration, which only takes 30 seconds. You only have to put your name and email, and then you can start interacting. We are currently 100 active members on the platform, and you can already find open discussions, questions and answers, and hopefully you can contribute to some of them. Well, you will find this online community via our NUTRI-KNOW website as well, or using this link. Okay, and finally, the last one. I will also like to tell you that we have tried to create a practical document that contains all the methodology that NUTRI-KNOW is following to capitalize the knowledge. This methodology is based on different modules you see in the screen and easier steps to follow. And well, it's a way to apply to other projects or initiatives that can also increase the impact of their knowledge. And now, finally, I would like to take this opportunity to encourage you to all to become a validator of this methodology. If you are a part of a thematic network, an operational group, or any other project, you can read, get inspired, and contribute now to build this methodology by accessing this questionnaire using this link or clicking here when this presentation become available in the BBioNets platform. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. Seeing the time, I will not do a summary of what we have discussed today, but all the presentations will be uploaded to the website. We will also have recording uploaded to our YouTube channels. And we will also have disseminate that we have published all these. Sorry, Margarita, if you can close your microphone.
Sorry?
Sorry, can you close the microphone, please? Because it's making some echoes. Thank you very much. Sorry for this. We will also disseminate the news that we have published all these materials through our social media, so please check them out and stay tuned on our news. I would like to thank everyone for attending today and contributing to this very interesting discussion. I hope you found this discussion fruitful yourselves. And a special thank you to all the speakers for also contributing and sharing their experiences and knowledge. We truly appreciate it. Are there any other comments, or can we close this meeting? I don't see any hands raised, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon in another endeavor such as this.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.